Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where Reddit's AITAH stories go on trial. Make sure to listen carefully and express your verdict in the comments section below. Moving on to the first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for refusing to let my sister's family live in my house after they sold theirs for a dream vacation? So, I, 32M, own a modest 3-bedroom house that I've been paying off for the last 10 years. It's nothing fancy, but it's mine, and I'm proud of it. My sister, 29F, and her husband, 31M, are the typical free-spirited types. They've always talked about quitting the rat race, living life to the fullest, all that. Well, a few months ago, they finally did it. They sold their house during a booming market, thinking the profit would fund a year-long break to travel. They believed they could stretch the money by traveling cheaply, staying in hostels or Airbnbs, and getting by with occasional odd jobs. At first, they stayed in nicer places and ate out a lot, thinking they had plenty of cushion, but within 2 months, they were out of money. They underestimated how quickly expenses would pile up, especially with 2 young kids, 7F and 5M, to feed and care for. Now that their funds are drained, they've decided to stop full-time travel, but don't want to settle down yet. Instead, they asked to live with me, rent-free, for the next 10 months while they figure things out. They say they'll still try to take some occasional trips if they find super cheap deals, but for the most part, they want to stay at my house. I told them no. My house isn't big enough. I don't want the disruption, and I certainly don't think it's fair for them to live off me because their plan failed. I offered to help them find an affordable rental or even cover part of their expenses for a couple of months so they could get back on their feet. But that wasn't enough. My sister blew up at me, calling me selfish and accusing me of being jealous of their adventurous lifestyle. To make it worse, my parents are siding with her, saying that family should help family and that I'm being too rigid. The thing is, my parents live in a small apartment and can't take in my sister's family, which is probably why they're pushing it on me. They say I don't understand the value of experiences and that I should be more supportive. Some of our mutual friends are also saying I should be more understanding, but I think it's completely unreasonable to expect me to house their whole family for nearly a year just because they didn't plan properly. Am I the bad person? What do you think about this one? Lay down the hammer in the comments section, and let's move on to the second case. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my pregnant 19-year-old daughter she needs to move out ASAP? My daughter Rose, 19, was always a smart girl. She did well in school and got a full ride to a great school that is locally. She's been living with me and going to school and is doing well in school. She got this new boyfriend a few months ago, who I don't like. I can smell the bullshit. He constantly lets her down but covers it up with a big smile and grand promises. Despite my warnings, they're still dating, and now she's pregnant. I offered to pay for the abortion and take a few days off work to take her and help her recover. She said no. She's going to marry her boyfriend, and they'll be one big happy family. He wants to move into my house, and she'll drop out of school while he works to support them. He's a bartender who doesn't go to college. I laughed at this idea, which made her mad. She told me that since he can't move and I'll need to step up and help with the baby more. Y'all, she has always been a very sensible child. I don't know where this all has came from. I flat out told her that if she thinks she's grown enough to have and raise a child and get married, then she needs to move out soon and manage being an adult with a child's father. I raised the one child I wanted. I do not want any more children living in my home. I told her I'd pay for diapers here and there, and I'd still visit her. But this baby is 0% my responsibility. If she chooses adoption, which I'm pretty sure she wouldn't, I'd be willing to help her navigate that. She won't talk to me. My husband, her stepdad, is staying out of this, but thinks I could help more. I told him he's welcome to go over and babysit for her, and that shut him up, lol. Am I the bad person? What about that? Who would you rule for? State down your ruling, and let's move on to our third case. Case 3. Am I the bad person for refusing to donate my kidney to my dying sister because she got with my high school bully? I'm a 35-year-old gay man. When I was in high school, I was bullied severely by Darren. I won't go into the details, but it was really bad. past the point of typical high school Dutchabagery. In my sophomore year, I made the mistake of coming out to one of my friends, who promptly spread this information around the school. Before this, Darren had targeted me for being unathletic and wearing glasses, and had done this to a couple other kids as well. But after I was outed, it was only me, and only because of my sexuality. After high school, I moved away for college. I made friends, even got a boyfriend, and pretty much forgot about Darren. Until one Thanksgiving, my sister Ellie brought home her boyfriend, Darren. No joke, the first thing he said when he saw me was, "Damn, Ellie, you didn't tell me your brother's a fag." Ellie fucking laughed, as did my dad. I was kinda stunned, but I didn't yell or start a fight. I just got up and walked out. After the fact, my family tried to play it off as Darren was joking because he was nervous meeting the family, and they told me that he and Ellie were serious, so I had to get over it. I just told them all that I wouldn't be attending any event where Darren was. In private, I told Ellie that I felt hurt that she'd date Darren, knowing what he did to me. She basically called me too sensitive and told me she has the right to date who she likes, which yes, she does. Since then, I've been putting distance between myself and my family, who seem to have readily accepted Darren into the fold. Recently, my mom reached out to tell me that Ellie was in the hospital and needed a kidney transplant. The rest of the family had been tested and none could donate, and my mom wanted me to get tested because I'm her full brother with a high likelihood of a match. The thing is, after all these years, Ellie is basically a stranger to me. If I were to do this, I'd have to drive 3 states back to my hometown, miss who knows how much work, and give up a piece of my flesh, all for the woman who dated and eventually married the guy who made my high school days a living hell. I told my mom that I wouldn't be getting tested, and she freaked out at me over the phone. I quickly hung up on her. But before I did, I heard her call me vindictive and a monster for refusing to save my sister's life. I admit I feel guilty about it. I don't know what to rule for. What do you guys think? Type your verdict in the comment section as we move on to our next case. Case 4. My pregnant wife's sister offered to sleep with me. My wife, 24F, and I, 24M, have been together for 3 years and married for about 6 months now. We found out that we're going to be parents and we are both very excited. We told our families over the weekend and everyone was happy for us. This morning, I got a text from my wife's sister, 21F, saying that she knows that women can get emotionally and physically abusive and can put a stop to intimacy during pregnancy, and that she is willing to help me out anytime sexually or emotionally during and after the pregnancy. Obviously, I have no interest in anyone other than my wife, but how do I tell her what her sister offered? My wife has always been there for her sister, and they have always been super close. Her sister was the MOH at our wedding. I don't want my wife to lose that bond, and it would destroy her if she found out that her sister was willing to betray her like that. At the same time, her sister is a snake and is willing to ruin our marriage and the life of her soon-to-be nephew/niece for what I'm guessing is a childish crush on me. My first priority is my wife and unborn child, and anyone else can go to hell. How do I approach this situation? There is literally no good outcome. I can tell my wife tonight. She will be absolutely devastated. I will always be there for her, and I know her parents will be on her side, but losing a 20-year bond with her own sibling while in such a vulnerable state sounds terrible. How can I possibly tell my wife that the sister she loved and looked after for so many years wanted to sleep with her husband while she was pregnant? If I don't tell her soon and tell her later, she may lose her trust in me. If I don't tell her at all, my wife will be close with someone who clearly does not care for her and could easily betray her again in the future. Let us have your thoughts down in the comments and move on to our next case. Case 5. Would I be the bad person if I texted my husband's best friend to see her reaction? My husband has this best friend from college time. I never had issues with her until my wedding a month ago when my maid of honor overheard her snapping at another friend of theirs that she has him when she wants him, when the friend teased her that she lost him and he was the one who got away. I told my husband about it a few days ago. Didn't want to ruin our honeymoon, but it was still in my head. But he denied anything happened between them. He was very calm when he said it. Almost too calm. Anyway, I have no proof, and I trust him. Until I used his phone when mine died. He was driving, and I was making a playlist on his phone. Then I looked through his iMessages, and he had an old thread with her. I mean, I know for a fact that they text. Nothing. I didn't say anything, but last night I literally saw her name pop up amongst the texts. When he went to bed, I looked, and there were no texts. He is deleting them. Now my question is, if I ask, you will deny it. I need to know, and I need proof. Would I be the AH if I initiated a conversation with her acting like I'm my husband and see what's up? What do you think the fair ruling should be? You hold the power of judgment. State your ruling in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.